The Power of Silence 10. Stoic Secrets to Transform Your Life. Why do some people command a room without saying a word? Hey there, ever been in a room where one person just stands out? Not because they breathe the loudest, but because they're the quietest. You know the type. While everyone else is chattering away, vying for attention, or filling the silence with endless small talk, this person remains calm, steady, almost unshakable. They don't rush to speak, don't feel the need to dominate the conversation, and yet when they finally do say something, everyone stops and listens. It is as if their words carry a weight that others don't, a quiet authority that commands respect without demanding it. It's like they've got some secret superpower, a way of making their presence felt without filling the air with noise. You might find yourself wondering, what's their deal? How do they do it? How do they wield such influence while saying so little? That's exactly what we're diving into today. And the answer lies in a philosophy that has been around for centuries, but feels more relevant than ever in our chaotic, noisy world. This isn't just about being the strong, silent type you might see romanticized in movies. Think the brooding hero who speaks in gruff one-liners. No, this goes much deeper than a Hollywood trope. It's about something ancient, something timeless, something called Stoicism. Stoicism, born in the bustling streets of Athens and later refined in the marble halls of Rome, is not just a dusty philosophy for toga-wearing thinkers. It is a practical way of living that people like Marcus Aurelius Seneca and Epictetus used to navigate the complexities of their own turbulent times. These Stoic thinkers understood that true strength doesn't come from being the loudest voice in the room, but from mastering yourself, your emotions, your reactions, your words. They believed that by saying less, by choosing your words with intention, you could create a presence that resonates far more than any shout ever could. In a world that often equates volume with value, the Stoics offer a counterintuitive truth. Sometimes less is more. And when that less is deliberate, thoughtful, and rooted in inner calm, it becomes a powerful force. Stick with me because we are about to unpack 10 Stoic secrets that reveal how saying less can mean so much more. These aren't just old ideas to ponder over. They're practical tools you can apply right now to live better, connect deeper, and find unshakable strength in a noisy, distracted world. Imagine being the person who doesn't just speak to be heard, but speaks to be remembered. Imagine building relationships where your words aren't just noise, but bridges to understanding. These Stoic principles will show you how to cultivate that quiet power, helping you stand out, not because you demand attention, but because you earn it through authenticity and wisdom. Whether you're navigating a hectic workplace, strengthening friendships, or simply trying to find peace amidst the chaos of modern life, these secrets offer a roadmap to a more meaningful way of being. Ready to discover how to make your presence felt without raising your voice? Let's get started on this journey together, peeling back the layers of Stoicism to uncover the timeless art of saying less and meaning more. A journey into silence. Let's set the stage. We live in a world that's loud, constantly buzzing with notifications, opinions, and endless chatter that seems to fill every corner of our lives. From the ping of a new email to the flood of social media updates, it's easy to feel like you have to keep up, to always have something to say or risk being left behind. In this relentless noise, the pressure to contribute, to assert yourself, can feel overwhelming, as if silence is a sign of weakness or disengagement. But what if the real power isn't in speaking more, piling on to the cacophony, but in speaking less? What if silence could be your greatest ally, a tool to cut through the clutter and leave a lasting impact? That's where Stoicism comes in, offering a perspective that challenges the modern obsession with constant output. The Stoics, thinkers like Marcus Aurelius, Epictetus, and Seneca, weren't just philosophers with impressive beards and lofty ideas. They were practical people who figured out how to live well, even in the toughest of times, whether facing war, exile, or personal loss. Their wisdom wasn't theoretical. It was forged in the fire of real life, and one of their biggest secrets was the art of silence. This isn't the awkward, empty kind of silence that makes everyone uncomfortable, nor is it a retreat from the world. Instead, it's the kind that's full of purpose, strength, and wisdom. A deliberate choice to listen, to reflect, and to speak only when your words carry meaning. The Stoics understood that in a world of chaos, the ability to hold back, to master your impulses, and to let your actions and presence speak louder than your voice was a form of power. Marcus Aurelius, a Roman emperor with the weight of an empire on his shoulders, wrote in his Meditations about the value of inner stillness, suggesting that true strength lies in controlling what you can, your thoughts and words, rather than being swept away by external noise. Epictetus, a former slave-turned-teacher, emphasized self-discipline, teaching that silence can be a shield against unnecessary conflict. Seneca, a statesman and playwright, often reflected on the virtue of restraint, arguing that well-timed silence could reveal more about a person's character than a flood of words ever could. Together, their insights form a roadmap to a life where less truly becomes more. Today, we're going on a journey to explore 10 ways that speaking less can transform your life, drawing on these Stoic principles to guide us. This isn't just about quieting your voice. It is about harnessing silence to handle tough conversations with grace, to navigate disagreements without losing your cool, and to find an inner calm that steadies you amid life's storms. These ideas aren't relics of the past. They're timeless tools that can help you build a stronger, more meaningful version of yourself. Imagine facing a heated argument and choosing to listen rather than react, or sitting in a meeting where your thoughtful pause draws more attention than a rushed opinion. Picture a life where your words are rare but impactful, where your presence alone commands respect. So grab a coffee, tune out the noise for a moment, and let's dive in. This is going to be good, a deep dive into how Stoic silence can empower you to live with intention, connect authentically, and rise above the din of everyday life. Let us uncover these secrets together and see how they can reshape the way you move through the world. Silence as a strategic shield. Let us kick things off with a game changer. Silence can be your secret weapon in a world that often rewards noise over substance. Have you ever noticed how staying quiet in a heated moment can completely throw people off? It's a subtle but profound shift in dynamics, like holding up a mirror to those around you. They're expecting you to react, to argue, to fill the space with words. But when you don't, they're left scrambling, unsure of what to do next. The Stoics, those ancient philosophers who thrived in the chaos of their own times, knew this trick well and wielded it with precision. They saw silence not as a passive retreat, but as a kind of shield, one that lets you stay grounded while others reveal their true colors through their impatience or overreaction. Lao Tzu, the ancient Chinese philosopher, put it perfectly when he said, "Silence is a source of great strength," a sentiment the Stoics would have undoubtedly appreciated as they navigated the complexities of life with calm and clarity. Now picture this. You are in a tense conversation. Maybe someone was trying to bait you with a snarky comment, their words dripping with provocation. Your instinct might be to fire back, to defend yourself, or to match their energy with a sharp retort of your own. But instead of giving in to that impulse, you pause. You stay calm, like a tree standing firm in the middle of a storm, its roots deep and unshaken by the winds. That quiet moment isn't just you holding back, it is you taking control of the situation in a way that words never could. You're watching, listening, and carefully planning your next move, all while maintaining an air of composure that can be deeply unsettling to someone expecting a fight. This kind of silence isn't about shutting down or avoiding conflict. It's about choosing calm over chaos, clarity over knee-jerk reactions. It's a deliberate act of self-mastery, one that the Stoics practiced to maintain their inner peace, no matter the circumstances. When you embrace silence in these moments, something fascinating happens. It creates a space where others' insecurities, intentions, or even their lack of self-control come into sharp focus. While they might be hoping to drag you into an emotional tug-of-war, your refusal to engage on their terms forces them to confront their own behavior. You, on the other hand, remain one step ahead, observing the situation with a clear mind and a steady heart. This is the power of strategic silence. It gives you the upper hand not through aggression, but through restraint and mindfulness. The Stoics believed that by controlling what you can, your reactions, your words, you create a fortress of calm that external chaos can't penetrate. So, the next time you're tempted to jump into the fray, whether it's a heated argument at work or a passive-aggressive jab from a friend, try this instead. Take a deep breath, stay quiet, and see what unfolds. Let the silence do the talking for you, and watch how it shifts the energy in the room. You might be surprised at how powerful your silence can be, how it can disarm others and leave you standing taller, more centered, and more in control than any shouted comeback ever could. It's a simple yet profound tool that can transform how you navigate life's challenges, turning moments of tension into opportunities for clarity and strength. Cutting through the noise. We live in a world that's drowning in noise, endless notifications, chatter, and distractions pulling us every which way, demanding our attention at every turn. It's exhausting, right? The constant ping of a phone, the hum of a busy office, the flood of opinions on social media. It can feel like there's no escape, like we're trapped in a whirlwind of sound and activity that leaves us drained. But what if there's a way to rise above it all, to find a sense of peace and purpose amid the chaos? The Stoics, like Marcus Aurelius and Epictetus, had a fix for this: silence. Not just the act of keeping your mouth shut to avoid speaking, but a deeper, more intentional practice of giving your words the space to matter. These ancient philosophers, who lived through their own turbulent times, believed that every word you say should carry weight, like a carefully chosen arrow aimed with precision, not just noise thrown into the air to fill a void. For them, silence wasn't an absence of sound. It was a presence, a powerful tool to cultivate clarity and strength. Think about it for a moment. How often do we talk just to talk? We toss out words without thinking, filling conversations with idle chatter, half-formed thoughts or knee-jerk reactions, only for them to get lost in the clutter of everything else competing for attention. It's easy to fall into this trap, especially in a culture that often equates constant communication with productivity or connection. But when you choose to speak less, something profound shifts. Your words start to resonate. They hit harder, mean more, and leave a lasting impression. It's like clearing out a cluttered room. By removing the excess, you create space for what truly matters, allowing the important things to stand out in sharp relief. The Stoics understood this principle deeply. Marcus Aurelius, a Roman emperor who faced immense pressure daily, often reminded himself to focus on what was essential, letting go of the unnecessary. Epictetus, a former slave turned philosopher, taught that self-discipline in speech was a path to inner freedom, urging his students to speak only when their words could improve upon silence. To make this shift in your own life, you've got to be intentional. It doesn't happen by accident. Start by trying a simple practice. Pause before you reply in a conversation, really taking in what's being said instead of rushing to respond. That brief moment of silence allows you to process, reflect, and respond with purpose rather than reflex. Or carve out a dedicated moment each day to unplug, turn off your devices, step away from the noise, and sit in quiet, letting your thoughts settle like dust after a storm. It's in those moments of stillness that you find clarity, connection, and a deeper sense of yourself as the distractions fade and your inner voice becomes clearer. These small acts of intentional silence can transform how you engage with the world, helping you speak with greater impact and live with greater intention. So ask yourself, what's one distraction you could cut out today to make room for silence? Maybe it's silencing your notifications for an hour, or stepping away from social media to take a quiet walk. Whatever it is, that choice to embrace silence is where your words and your life start to shine, cutting through the noise to reveal the strength and wisdom that's been there all along. The magnetism of quiet. Here's something cool about silence. It has an incredible ability to draw people in, almost like a magnet pulling attention without any effort. Picture a crowded room where everyone's talking over each other, voices overlapping in a chaotic attempt to be heard, each person vying for their moment in the spotlight. Then there's you, calm, collected, quiet, standing apart from the fray without raising your voice or waving for attention. You're not shouting to be noticed, yet somehow you've got it. People lean in, their curiosity piqued, wondering what's on your mind, what wisdom or insight might be brewing behind that steady silence. That's the magic of silence at work, a subtle power that commands interest without demanding it. The Stoics, those ancient masters of self-mastery, knew this well. They understood that it's not about being loud or forceful. It's about being present, confident, and intentional, letting your stillness speak volumes in a world obsessed with noise. Silence in a conversation is like the pause in a great song, a deliberate break that builds anticipation, making what comes next more powerful and meaningful. When you hold back, you're not withdrawing or disengaging from the moment. Rather, you're creating a space that invites others to step forward. It's a shift in energy that allows their ideas to breathe, giving them room to share, to think, to feel, without the pressure of being interrupted or overshadowed. This kind of silence is a form of empathy, a quiet acknowledgement that their words matter, that you're truly listening rather than waiting for your turn to speak. The Stoics, like Marcus Aurelius, who ruled an empire with a philosopher's heart, often emphasized the value of listening over speaking, seeing it as a way to connect more deeply with others and with oneself. When you do choose to speak after that pause, your words carry a different weight. They're thoughtful, measured, and impactful, not rushed or thrown out haphazardly. It's as if you're painting on a blank canvas, where every stroke counts. Every word is a deliberate addition to the masterpiece you're creating in the moment. This approach transforms how you interact with others. In a group setting, where the natural tendency might be to jump in and compete for airtime, try staying quiet for a bit instead. Let the chatter flow around you. Observe the dynamics and resist the urge to fill every silence with your voice. You'll notice something fascinating happen. The dynamic shifts. People begin to turn toward you, drawn by your stillness, intrigued by the confidence it suggests. It's not about being aloof or dismissive. It's about offering a contrast to the noise, a presence that stands out because it doesn't need to prove itself. This magnetic quality of silence can turn you into a focal point without you ever saying a word, as others start to wonder what's behind your composure. The Stoic philosopher Epictetus taught that true strength lies in controlling what you can, your reactions, your speech, and letting go of the need to control how others perceive you. By embracing silence, you embody that strength, creating a space where genuine connection can flourish. So next time you're in a group, experiment with this. Stay quiet for a little longer than feels natural. Watch how it shifts the energy and see how it pulls people toward you. Silence isn't just an absence of sound. It's a powerful presence, a tool that can deepen relationships, enhance your influence, and reveal the best in those around you. It's magnetic, and once you harness it, you'll see how it transforms not just your conversations, but the way you move through the world. Building strength in stillness. Silence isn't just about what you don't say, it is about what you build inside, a hidden foundation that shapes who you are. The Stoics saw it as a gym for your mind, a dedicated space where you can grow stronger, clearer, and more resilient, much like a physical workout strengthens the body. When you step away from the world's relentless noise, the clamor of voices, the buzz of devices, the constant pull of distractions, and sit with your thoughts, you're not just chilling or passing the time. You're training, engaging in a mental exercise that builds your inner strength. In those quiet moments, you're wrestling with your emotions, confronting your fears, exploring your dreams, and emerging sharper, more centered, better equipped to face whatever comes your way. The Stoics, like Marcus Aurelius and Epictetus, understood this transformative power, viewing silence as a deliberate practice to refine the soul and fortify the spirit against life's challenges. Think of it like this. Just as athletes push their bodies through rigorous training to build muscle and endurance, silence pushes your mind to new levels of clarity and resilience. In the absence of external chaos, you're no longer distracted by the noise outside. You're face to face with yourself, stripped of the usual crutches that keep you from looking inward. This isn't always comfortable. It might mean sorting through a tough decision, grappling with a lingering doubt, or simply noticing what's been weighing you down, like unspoken worries or unexamined habits. But that's where the real work happens, in the quiet crucible where you confront your inner world. The Stoics believed that true strength comes from mastering your reactions and thoughts, and silence provides the perfect arena for that mastery. It's a process of self-discovery, where you start to see what truly matters, your values, your priorities, your path forward, with a clarity that's impossible amid the din of daily life. This mental training builds something enduring, like constructing a fortress inside you, one that no storm can shake. Each moment of silence reinforces your ability to stay steady, to remain unshaken by external pressures or emotional turbulence. Seneca, another Stoic thinker, often wrote about the importance of retreating into oneself to gain perspective, suggesting that solitude and silence were essential for a life of virtue and wisdom. When you practice this regularly, you develop a resilience that carries over into your interactions and decisions, allowing you to respond rather than react, to lead with intention rather than impulse. It's not about escaping the world, but about preparing yourself to engage with it more effectively, armed with a mind that's been honed through silence. This inner fortress becomes your anchor, a place of calm you can return to no matter how chaotic things get. So try this. Find 5 minutes today to sit in silence. No phone, no background noise, just you and your thoughts. It might feel strange at first, even uncomfortable, but lean into it. What comes up? Maybe it's a fleeting worry, a spark of inspiration, or a realization about something you've been avoiding. That's your strength growing one quiet moment at a time. Each session builds on the last, layering resilience and insight like bricks in a wall. Over time, you'll notice a shift. You'll feel more grounded, more in tune with yourself, and better able to navigate life's ups and downs. Silence becomes your ally, a gym where your mind trains to thrive, turning inward reflection into outward power. Humility over ego. Ever met someone who doesn't need to brag to feel good about themselves? They exude a quiet confidence that doesn't demand attention, yet somehow commands respect. That's the Stoic way, a profound freedom from pride or arrogance that shapes how you see yourself and interact with the world. It's not about downplaying your worth or pretending you're less than you are, shrinking into the background to avoid notice. Nor is it about inflating your ego to mask insecurities. Instead, it's about seeing yourself clearly, with all your strengths and flaws laid bare, and accepting both without letting either puff you up with conceit or drag you down into self-doubt. The Stoics called this humility, and they viewed it as a quiet kind of power, a steady, grounded force that allows you to navigate life with authenticity and grace. When you speak less, you're actively practicing this Stoic humility, embodying a mindset that prioritizes substance over show. You're not rushing to prove yourself, to fill the air with boasts, or to one-up someone else in a conversation just to feel validated. Instead, you're listening intently, learning from what others have to say, and choosing words that add value rather than noise. It's a deliberate choice to contribute meaningfully rather than perform for approval. The Stoics, like Seneca and Epictetus, believed that true wisdom lies in this restraint, in knowing when to speak and when to hold back, ensuring that your words serve a purpose beyond stroking your ego. This approach is like walking a tightrope. On one side, there's the pitfall of arrogance where you think you're better than everyone else, constantly seeking to dominate or impress. On the other, there's self-doubt where you feel you're not enough, retreating into silence out of fear rather than intention. Humility keeps you balanced, guiding you to a middle path where you neither overestimate nor underestimate your worth. This balance has a profound effect on how you connect with others. When you speak from a place of humility, you're not trying to impress, you're trying to understand, to meet people where they are and build genuine relationships. It strips away the barriers that pride can create, allowing for deeper, more authentic connections. Imagine a conversation where you're not focused on showcasing your achievements, but on truly hearing the other person, responding with insight rather than bravado. That's the kind of interaction that leaves a lasting impact, fostering trust and mutual respect. The Stoic Emperor Marcus Aurelius often reminded himself to remain humble despite his immense power, reflecting in his writings that humility allowed him to lead with fairness and empathy rather than ego. By embracing this principle, you create space for others to feel seen and valued, strengthening your relationships in ways that arrogance or insecurity never could. So the next time you tempted to boast about a success or shrink back in fear of judgment, take a moment to pause. Ask yourself, what's the truth here? Look at the situation with clear eyes, acknowledging your role without exaggeration or minimization. Then speak from that place of honest self-awareness, letting your words reflect your true self rather than a need for validation. You'll find that this Stoic humility not only deepens your relationships, making others feel heard and understood, but also strengthens your sense of self, rooting you in a confidence that doesn't need to shout to be felt. It's a quiet power that transforms how you show up in the world, turning every interaction into an opportunity for growth and connection. The art of silent negotiations. Let's talk about negotiations, not just the business kind with contracts and boardrooms, but any moment where you're trying to reach an agreement, whether it's with a friend, over plans, a co-worker on a project, or even yourself about a personal decision. These situations often feel like battlegrounds, where emotions can run high and the urge to assert your position can take over. The Stoics, those ancient masters of resilience, knew silence is a secret weapon in these moments, a tool that can turn the tide in your favor. Marcus Aurelius, a Roman emperor who faced countless challenges, captured this wisdom when he wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." In a negotiation, that power manifests through pausing, through choosing when to speak and when to stay quiet, allowing you to maintain control even when the situation feels chaotic. Imagine you're in a tough conversation, maybe hashing out a deal where stakes are high or settling a disagreement that has been simmering for days. Everyone's pushing their point, voices rising as they try to win, to convince, to dominate the exchange. But you're different. You're calm, composed, and deliberate. You listen intently, absorbing what's being said without jumping in to interrupt or defend. You wait, letting silence settle into the space between words. That silence isn't empty. It creates room for reflection, for clarity, and for the other person to reveal their hand, whether it's their true priorities, their insecurities, or their willingness to compromise. It's not about being sneaky or manipulative. It's about being steady, grounded in your own resolve while giving the moment the respect it deserves. This quiet approach shows a confidence that doesn't need to shout to be heard, a respect for the process, and a focus on what's really at stake, rather than getting lost in the heat of the moment. The Stoics understood that this kind of silence is a strategic advantage. Epictetus, a former slave-turned-philosopher, taught that we can't control others' actions or words, only our own responses, and silence becomes a way to exercise that control. By holding back, you avoid being drawn into unnecessary conflict or emotional traps, keeping your mind clear and your perspective sharp. When you do choose to speak, your words hit harder because they're deliberate, born from thought rather than reflex. It's as if each sentence is a carefully placed stone in a foundation, building toward a resolution rather than crumbling under pressure. This approach can shift the entire dynamic of a negotiation, turning it from a shouting match into a thoughtful dialogue where solutions emerge naturally. The other party might even feel more at ease, sensing your steadiness as an invitation to lower their guard and engage more honestly. So the next time you're in a negotiation, whether it was a formal discussion or a casual talk, try this. Hold back. Let the silence work its magic, giving you time to assess the situation and the other person's space to think. Resist the urge to fill every pause with words and instead steer the conversation with intention. It's like guiding a ship through a storm, steady, not rushed, where your calm presence becomes the rudder that keeps things on course. Watch how it shifts the energy, how it invites cooperation rather than confrontation, and how it empowers you to navigate toward a better outcome. Silence in this context isn't just a pause. It's a powerful tool that transforms negotiations into opportunities for mutual understanding and success. Kindness through listening. Kindness doesn't always mean doing big, flashy things like grand gestures or public displays of generosity. Sometimes it's as simple as listening, really listening, with your full attention and an open heart. The Stoics, those ancient philosophers known for their practical wisdom, like Seneca, believed deeply in the power of empathy, of stepping outside yourself to see the world through someone else's eyes. In a society often consumed by self-interest and the rush to be heard, speaking less and listening more becomes an act of kindness that cuts through the noise of our self-centered world. It's like giving someone the gift of being truly heard, a present that requires no material cost, but offers immense value, fostering a connection that words alone can't achieve. The Stoics saw this as a way to live virtuously, aligning your actions with the well-being of others, even in the smallest interactions. Picture this: A friend's telling you about a rough day, their voice carrying the weight of frustration or sadness as they recount a challenge they've faced. Your first instinct might be to jump in with advice, eager to solve their problem, or to share your own story to relate, thinking it will help them feel less alone. But what if you paused and chose a different path? What if you just listened, really took in their words, their tone, the emotions woven into every sentence, the subtle shifts that reveal how deeply they're affected? That's stoic kindness in action. It's not about rushing to fix their problem or shifting the focus to your own experiences. It's about honoring their story, giving them space to express themselves without judgment or interruption. This act of presence builds trust, fosters respect, and creates a real, authentic connection that goes beyond surface-level exchanges. The Stoics believed that true strength lies in controlling what you can, your reactions, your words, and using that control to benefit others. Seneca, a Roman statesman and philosopher, often wrote about the importance of compassion, suggesting that listening with intent is a way to practice it daily. When you listen more, you're not just passively hearing, you're actively engaging, showing that you value the other person's perspective. This kindness doesn't demand applause or recognition. It's quiet, understated, yet profoundly impactful. It allows the other person to feel seen and understood, which can be more healing than any advice you might offer. Over time, this practice strengthens your relationships, turning casual conversations into moments of mutual support and understanding. To bring this into your own life, try being fully present the next time someone talks to you. Put the phone down, turn away from distractions and focus entirely on them, on their words, their body language, the emotions they're conveying. Let their story unfold without rushing to fill the silence with your input. This small act requires effort, especially in a world that pulls us toward multitasking and quick responses, but it's powerful in its simplicity. It creates a safe space where people can be vulnerable, knowing they won't be dismissed or overshadowed. As you practice this, ask yourself, how can I show kindness by listening today? Maybe it's giving a coworker a moment to vent, or letting a family member share without interjecting. That's how you make the world a little better, one conversation at a time, weaving threads of empathy and connection that strengthen the fabric of your community. This stoic approach to kindness through silence is a gift you can give endlessly, enriching both your life and those around you. The power of deep listening. Let us take listening a step further and explore the stoic skill of deep listening, a practice that transforms a simple conversation into something truly profound, a doorway to deeper understanding and connection. Epictetus, a Stoic philosopher who rose from slavery to become a revered teacher, captured the essence of this skill with a timeless piece of wisdom. We have 2 ears and 1 mouth so that we can listen twice as much as we speak. This isn't just a clever saying, it's a call to prioritize listening over speaking, to truly engage with others in a way that goes beyond the surface. Deep listening isn't just about hearing the words someone says, it's about catching the feelings, the stories, and the unspoken truths woven into their speech. It's like diving into a pool instead of skimming the surface, immersing yourself fully to uncover the depths of what's being shared. When you practice deep listening, you're not just waiting for your turn to talk, mentally rehearsing your response while the other person speaks. Instead, you're there, fully present in the moment, letting their words sink in without the distraction of your own agenda. It's an active, not passive process, a deliberate choice to focus entirely on understanding the other person. You're attuned to more than just their words. You're picking up on the pauses, the hesitations, the subtle shifts in tone that reveal what they're not saying outright. Maybe there's a quiver in their voice that hints at vulnerability, or a hurried pace that betrays anxiety. Deep listening allows you to hear these nuances, to grasp the emotions and intentions behind the conversation. This kind of engagement shows the other person that you genuinely care, that their thoughts and feelings matter to you, creating a space where they can express themselves without fear of being dismissed or misunderstood. The Stoics, like Epictetus, believed that this level of attentiveness is a virtue, a way to cultivate wisdom and strengthen relationships. By listening deeply, you build bridges between yourself and others, between different perspectives and ideas. It opens your mind to new viewpoints, challenging your assumptions and broadening your understanding of the world. More than that, it enriches your relationships, turning casual exchanges into moments of real connection. Imagine a friend sharing a struggle while you resist the urge to interrupt with advice, instead letting their words linger as you absorb their experience. That act of deep listening can make them feel truly seen, fostering trust and intimacy that superficial conversations can't achieve. Marcus Aurelius, another Stoic, often reflected on the importance of understanding others as a path to living harmoniously, and deep listening is a practical way to embody that principle. To practice this skill, try this simple but powerful exercise. The next time you're talking with someone, focus entirely on understanding, not responding. Resist the urge to formulate your reply while they're speaking, and instead, let their words settle in your mind before you say anything. It's harder than it sounds. Our brains are wired to jump in, to solve, to share, but with practice it becomes transformative. You might notice things you'd otherwise miss, like the weight behind a sigh or the hope in a quiet admission. Deep listening is how you connect on a profound level, how you learn from others and how you grow as a person. It's a Stoic tool that turns every conversation into an opportunity for empathy and insight, deepening your relationships and your understanding of the human experience. Wisdom in reflection. Silence isn't just about what you done it say. It is about what you discover when you pause, creating a space for introspection that can profoundly shape your actions and words. The Stoics, those ancient philosophers who sought to live with virtue and reason, were big on reflection, emphasizing the importance of taking time to dive into your own thoughts and uncover what's truly driving you. They called this reflective wisdom, a practice that turns silence into a powerful tool for growth and clarity. When you hold back from speaking, you're not just avoiding meaningless chatter. You're giving yourself the space to think deeply, to choose words that matter, and to act with purpose rather than reacting on autopilot. This intentional pause allows you to sift through your emotions, question your assumptions, and align your responses with your values, ensuring that what you say or do carries real meaning. Think about a time when someone came to you with a problem, their words heavy with frustration or uncertainty. Maybe your first urge was to jump in with a quick fix, to offer advice, or to fill the silence with something, anything, to ease the tension. It's a natural instinct. We often feel pressure to respond immediately, as if silence is a void that must be filled. But what if you waited instead? What if you listened fully, letting the moment breathe, allowing their words to settle while you process them? That pause isn't empty or awkward. It's where wisdom grows. It is in that stillness that you can ask yourself the kinds of questions the Stoics would encourage. Is what I'm about to say helpful? Is it true? Does it matter right now? This reflective approach ensures that your response isn't just a knee-jerk reaction, but a thoughtful contribution, one that respects the moment and the person in front of you. This is the Stoic way, speaking with intention, not impulse, ensuring that your words align with reason and virtue. The Stoics, like Marcus Aurelius, often turn to reflection as a daily practice, using it to navigate the complexities of life with clarity. Marcus, an emperor who faced immense pressures, would write in his journal to process his thoughts, a habit that became his famous meditations. This reflective wisdom isn't just for philosophers. It is a practical tool anyone can use to live better. When you pause before speaking, you give yourself the chance to evaluate your motives, to consider the impact of your words, and to choose a path that reflects your best self. That pause might reveal that silence itself is the best response, or it might lead you to a reply that truly helps, one that cuts through noise to deliver insight. Either way, you're acting with purpose, not haste, which makes all the difference. To build this reflective wisdom in your own life, try incorporating small habits that encourage introspection. Before responding in a conversation, take a brief moment to breathe and think. Does what you're about to say add value? You can also set aside time at the end of the day to jot down your thoughts, reflecting on interactions or decisions that stood out. Alternatively, take a quiet walk to process your emotions, letting your mind wander without distractions. These practices are like polishing a gem. The more you reflect, the clearer your wisdom shines, illuminating your path forward. Over time, this habit of pausing and reflecting will transform how you engage with the world, making your words more meaningful, your actions more deliberate, and your life more aligned with the Stoic ideals of clarity and purpose. Resilience through quiet. Finally, let's talk about resilience, the kind that grows in silence, a deep well of strength that the Stoics mastered and relied upon to navigate life's inevitable hardships. The Stoics, like Marcus Aurelius and Epictetus, knew that life isn't always easy. It is a journey filled with challenges that come in all shapes and sizes, big ones that shake your foundation, small ones that wear you down, and unexpected ones that knock you off your feet. Yet they also understood that silence is where you find the strength to get back up, to face adversity with a steady heart and a clear mind. When you step away from the noise of the world, the endless opinions, the pressure to react, the chaos of emotions, and sit with your thoughts, you're not just resting or retreating. You're building a kind of quiet toughness, a resilience that doesn't need to shout to prove its power, but stands firm like a rock in a raging river. Imagine facing a tough moment. Maybe it's a setback at work, where a project you poured your heart into falls apart, or a fight with a friend that leaves you questioning the relationship. The world around you seems to scream for action, urging you to react immediately, to lash out in frustration, to do something to regain control. The pressure to respond can feel overwhelming, as if inaction is a sign of weakness. But instead of giving in, you pause. You take a deep breath, step back, and let the storm of emotions pass through you without dictating your actions. That's resilience in its purest form. It is not about ignoring the problem or pretending it doesn't hurt. It is about choosing how to face it with clarity, purpose, and a calm that comes from within. Silence becomes your ally, a space where you can process the challenge without the interference of external noise, allowing you to see it for what it truly is, an opportunity to grow, to learn, and to prove what you're made of. The Stoics believed that challenges, no matter how daunting, are chances to practice virtue and build character. Marcus Aurelius, who faced both personal loss and the burdens of leading an empire, often wrote about turning obstacles into opportunities, famously noting that what stands in the way becomes the way. Epictetus, who endured slavery before becoming a philosopher, taught that we can't control what happens to us, but we can control how we respond. And silence is a key part of that response. When you embrace silence in the face of hardship, you give yourself the chance to reflect rather than react, to ask the questions that lead to growth. What can I learn from this? How can I come out stronger on the other side? That reflective space allows you to reframe the challenge, to see it not as a defeat, but as a test of your inner strength, a chance to cultivate patience, courage, and wisdom. So when life gets rough, try this. Find a quiet moment amid the chaos. It could be a few minutes alone with your thoughts, a walk in nature, or simply closing your eyes to shut out the world. In that silence, ask yourself those Stoic questions. What can I learn here? How can I use this to become better, stronger, wiser? The answers might not come immediately, but the act of pausing builds a resilience that's steady, not flashy. That's the Stoic secret. Resilience isn't loud or showy, demanding attention with dramatic displays. It's quiet, unwavering, unbreakable, a force that grows in the stillness and carries you through life as storms with a strength that nothing can shake. Your silent strength. We've just walked through 10 Stoic secrets about the power of silence, uncovering a timeless wisdom that stretches from the ancient world to our modern lives, from using silence as a shield in heated moments to building resilience in the quiet spaces where we reflect. These principles offer a roadmap to navigate a world that never seems to stop talking. But these aren't just abstract ideas to ponder. They are practical tools designed to help you live better, connect deeper, and find a profound strength amid the noise. The Stoics, those ancient philosophers like Marcus Aurelius, Epictetus, and Seneca, showed us that speaking less isn't about diminishing yourself or fading into the background. It's about becoming more thoughtful in your responses, more present in your interactions, and more authentically you, stripped of the need to fill every moment with words. By embracing silence, you create space for clarity, wisdom, and genuine connection, allowing your presence to speak louder than any shout ever could. Each of these Stoic secrets reveals a different facet of silence's power. We've explored how it can be a strategic pause in negotiations, a way to practice empathy through deep listening, and a gym for your mind where reflective wisdom grows. We've seen how silence can draw people in, making your words more impactful, and how it fosters humility, freeing you from the need to prove yourself. It's a kindness that honors others' experiences, a tool for building resilience through life's challenges, and a way to ensure that when you do speak, your words carry the weight of intention rather than impulse. These principles, rooted in Stoic philosophy, are as relevant today as they were in ancient Rome, offering a counterbalance to the constant chatter of notifications, opinions, and distractions that define modern life. They remind us that in a culture obsessed with being heard, there's immense power in choosing to listen, to reflect, and to be deliberate with what we say. So here is my challenge for you. Pick one of these Stoic principles and put it into action this week. Maybe it's pausing before you speak in a conversation, taking a moment to ensure your words add value. Perhaps it's listening deeply to a friend, putting aside distractions to truly hear their story, or finding a quiet moment to reflect on your own thoughts, letting clarity emerge from the stillness. Whatever you choose, pay attention to how it shifts things, how it makes you feel stronger, clearer, and more connected to those around you. I'd love to hear about your experience, so drop a comment below. What is one way you are going to embrace silence in your life? Share your story, because this journey is about growing together. If this exploration of Stoic silence resonated with you, show some love by giving this video a thumbs up. It helps spread these ideas to others who might need them. Share it with someone in your life who could use a little quiet, a little wisdom in their busy world. And if you're feeling inspired, drop the phrase, "I embrace silence," in the comments to let everyone know you're on this journey to a more intentional, thoughtful way of being. Don't forget to subscribe for more content like this, because your path to a wiser, stronger, more grounded version of yourself is just getting started. Thanks for being here, for taking the time to reflect and learn. Now go out there and let your silence speak, creating ripples of meaning in a noisy world.